One of the best things about PC gaming is that generations just don't matter anymore. Your library moves forward with you. No more waiting for a game to come to this generation of hardware. No more waiting for better performance or visuals on a game from last gen. No more worrying about backward compatibility or the next new shiny thing. Want to play the latest and greatest? Play it. Want to play something that came out 40 years ago that you've always heard about but never tried? Play it. Want to play your favorite childhood game again without having to dig out old hardware and clean the dust off or find the right kind of screen and cables? Play it. You're not limited to generations when it comes to PC. With consoles, you are very much limited to whatever games are available on that system. Sometimes there's backwards compatibility. I know, like Xbox has been doing really well with that. PlayStation at least lets you play your PS4 games, but PS2 and PS1, you can't do anything with them. Unless they release them on the service, and even then you either have to be subscribed to PlayStation Plus or you have to buy separate copies. I don't know how many of those games you can actually buy nowadays. I think you can buy some. Feel free to tell me in the comments below what the current situation with that is, because I haven't kept up since I didn't get a PS5. But the fact of the matter is that with PC, generations just don't matter. It doesn't matter. You can buy a game that was released in 2010 or 1985, if there's a digital version of it. You can buy those games and you can still play them on a current hardware. Some games you could play on basically a potato and it will still work today. One thing that you will always run across when it comes to, especially with PlayStation and Nintendo, is that if the game does not exist on their current platform, you're not going to be able to play it without the old hardware. And that's not a problem that you have on PC. At least not in general. Once again, not 100% of the time, but the vast majority of the time. You can buy a game that came out 15 years ago, and you can still play it today. Even if sometimes that requires a little bit of fiddling, most of the time you can play it with no problems. Not only will you be able to play the game flawlessly, but a lot of times you're going to be able to get a way better experience than you would get on the original hardware, because you can get better frame rates, better visuals, mods, all sorts of other stuff. But regardless of any of that, the reality is that you are not stuck only being able to play these old games on old platforms. You can play them on PC today, regardless of when they came out. And with emulation, that's even more true now, because of the fact that you have the ability to play games that came out 30, 40 years ago, and you don't have to have the original hardware to do it. You can just play it on your PC and you'll be golden. It's one of those things that I just absolutely have loved about PC. And like I mentioned earlier, when you buy a game, it's yours. You don't have to buy it again in order to play it on current hardware. You can just buy it. If you bought a game 20 years ago, and you could buy digital games 20 years ago. If you bought a game, 15, 20 years ago, you're still going to be able to play that today on your current hardware, because of the fact that you're not limited by generations. And if you want to play a game that came out back then, you don't have to get the old hardware in order to play it. You just play it. And that is a beautiful thing. And sometimes you can also play it on handhelds, which is... Sometimes it still blows my mind how I can play these games that I remember playing on a console as a kid, that I can play them on my Steam Deck. And that the experience is amazing. And it's wonderful. I love it.